Have you ever found yourself scrolling through YouTube and Google for hours and hours on end trying to find the best settings for your ARK single-player world? Then stay tuned because this video is for you. Alright, so first things first, I just want to throw out there that this video is most likely going to be a little long, so if you guys are just here, you know what you're doing, and you just want to know the actual settings themselves, then check the timeline of the video. I'm going to try and see if I can put chapters in the video, so you guys can scroll along and you can see the exact parts that you want to jump to, and then you just have to click and it'll take you right there. And if for some reason I can't figure out how to do that, I'll make sure to put all the timestamps down below in the description or the comments, and you guys can just click the timestamp and it'll take you right to the spot that you want to see. Alright, for those of you that stuck around and decided you want to hear how I came to get these settings, I need to give you a little bit of a history. So when I first started playing this game, within my first 50 hours of the game, I started looking up some ARK videos. And the person that I came across was the content creator Syntac. Now, Syntac is somebody I started watching, like I just said, within my first 50 hours of the game, and he's somebody I still watch to this day with over 1,000 hours into the game. Now, with that being said, he's kind of the one who influenced how I play and how I enjoy to play the game to this day, which is mostly breeding and mutating, and it's from a solo perspective, which Syntac, if you've seen his videos, he's almost always playing solo. He plays on a server that his friends usually join him on, but for the most part, all his videos and all his content is from a solo player's perspective, which was something that really intrigued me because that's how I play the game. For the most part, I'm playing solo. Every now and then I'll have a server with my friends, but that never really lasts more than like 2 months. So for the majority, I'm playing solo. I wanted to make sure to mention that because I want to make it perfectly clear that I took these settings from him. While watching his videos, I wanted to make my game as close as I could to his so I could have a similar experience. So if you're after the same goal, then I can promise you that if you follow along, you will have the exact same settings that he has in his second cluster series, besides the fact that we need to tone down the mating interval just a little bit. For some reason, ARK allows you to have a little bit faster mating interval on servers than on a single player world, but to give you an idea, the time difference is only, I think, 1.5 minutes to maybe 2 minutes. It's really not that bad. Alright, so with all that out of the way, let's actually get to making our game as close as we can to his. Alright, so before we go too far, I do want to recommend one program, and that is Notepad++. Now this is completely optional, in no way is this mandatory, but all it's going to do is going to help organize the files that we're editing. So it's going to change your Notepad file from looking like this to looking like this. It just helps us look at it more or less. It just helps organize it. So if you're interested in downloading it, I will make sure to have a download link in the description. But alternatively, you can come up here and you can just type in Notepad++, that's equals plus. You're going to go ahead and click this first link. It's going to take you to the download section. Click the latest release, whatever it is for you. The first one right here is 32-bit. But the second one is 64-bit. 99% of you will be using 64-bit, but if for some reason you're using 32-bit and you know that, then you can download this version. Click the installer, and then all you have to do is click on this and run it just like a normal program. You can leave everything to default. You can change the installation path if you want to. Doesn't really matter. But later on, throughout the installation process, there are some tick boxes. Just leave everything to default, and you will be good to go. Alright, so the first big step is downloading the mods that he has. So the easiest way to do this is to click the link in the description of the video. That'll take you to this page. From here, you just want to make sure you sign into Steam, because that'll make this 10 times easier. And then all you have to do is click the pluses on the mods that you want. So for me, I like to download all of them besides the ARK Edition mods, which he is mentioned is extremely good, but I like to play with like as close to vanilla as possible. That's just the way I prefer to play, but of course you can do what you want to do. So those are all the mods I want, and that's gonna straight away it's gonna come over here to Steam, and you just gotta download it. That'll take a couple of seconds, but if for some reason you can't or you don't want to log into the Steam from like Google Chrome, all you have to do is come over to Steam, go to the workshop. Look up the ARK workshop right here. Make sure it's just ARK Survival Evolved. And then you just have to search for each of the mods. So let's say you want Structures Plus. Just search it there. And then you'll click a little plus. That'll be right here. And just do that for all the mods that you want. And you'll be all set. Alright, so now that we have our mods installed, we can go ahead and launch the game. Now I do want to mention that this is a new install of the game. So all my settings will be default. If you guys have been playing ARK before on single player, you might have different settings right off the start than I have. Now, before you go like reinstalling your game or deleting anything to make sure you have a fresh install, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you guys back up your files. I don't want you guys to go in here and change anything and then find out that it ruined any of your saves. Just be safe and make sure you back up your games. All right. Now that we're at the main menu, I took a break there from recording. But when you first launch your game, if you just install those mods, down here in the bottom, it'll tell you that it's installing. Just go ahead and wait some time until there's nothing here, until it looks like mine, or it says like it's finished downloading. Then all you're gonna do is you're gonna come over here to host, and you'll see your mods right here. So now, as it says right here, active mods top takes priority. So the way I go about it is I put the most intensive mods, or that I think are the most important mods, because I don't really know if they're the most intensive, but I put the most important mods at the top. So for me, that would be like Structures Plus. I'll put that at the top, and all you have to do to select it and get it up there is you click it like this. Dino Storage would be the second one, and then you just click the arrow, and it'll transfer it up there. And then let's see what else. How else would I go? Probably Ultra Stacks, Auto Engrams, Death Recovery, and Crafting Storage. And I think we have 6. We have 6. All right. So now that you have all your mods, all you're going to do is pick your map. I'm just going to leave it to the island as default. And I just clicked Play Single Player. Now this is important because, as you can see, nothing's happening. And if you're not familiar with this, ARK is a glitchy and buggy game sometimes. After you click Play Single Player, just take your mouse, or not your mouse, take your hands off your mouse and keyboard and just sit back for a little bit. I don't know. You could have a NASA computer, and this is probably going to still do this, knowing ARK, but just give it some time. Let ARK do its thing. It's gonna look like it's not doing anything, but just relax. I don't know. Get up, get a drink, and just go do something. It's gonna take a little bit, and then we're gonna load on in. All right. I just want to give you guys a little bit of an idea. It took around 2 minutes for me to get from that menu screen with the settings to where we're actually loading in the files. So just to give you some sort of idea, again, don't click anything. Don't try and alt tab. Don't try and click anything. Just let ARK do its thing. All right. So now that we're in the actual game, you can create your character. I'm just going to click create new character right off the bat, because I'm not actually going to be playing in this world. And then just let ARK do its thing. Alright. So, we should have left all our settings at default. So if we just run up to a creature real quick. Alright, you can see it's a level 9. So it's not a multiple of 6, which in the end our settings will be on difficulty 6. So every dino will be a multiple of 6. You can see that's a 9. And if I fly over here real quick, let's see, level 7, level 3. So we definitely have the default settings, which is exactly what we want. And now all you have to do is just go ahead, log out back to the main menu, and then exit your game, and we'll get to actually changing the settings. Alright, so now that we're at our desktop, we need to go to our ARK game folder. So if you know where that is, just go ahead and head straight there. But if you don't, I will show you how to find it. Just open up Steam. Up here in the top left, click Steam. Then go to Settings. In this menu that pops up, click Downloads over here on the left. Click Steam Library Folders. And then in this window, you could have just one drive right here. But for me, I added a second drive to where I install my games. So it's changed a little bit. But you're just going to look to wherever it says yes for default, and then you'll head to that path. So for me, it's going to be under the M drives in the program files 86, and then in the Steam folder. So I'm going to head there. You head to wherever yours is. So program files 86, Steam, and then just follow along. So Steam apps, common, ARK, shooter game, saved, config, and then Windows no editor. And here are the files that we're going to change. So if you guys did download Notepad++, all you need to do is left click GameUserSettings.ini, because that's the first file we are going to edit. Right click it, edit with Notepad++, and then it will go ahead and open up. Now for you guys that didn't download Notepad++, basically do the same thing. You'll left click it, then left click it, then right click it, and just click edit. And it'll either automatically open in Notepad, or it'll tell you like what program do you want to edit it with. Just select Notepad and you'll be at the same exact spot. Alright, so let's go back into Notepad++ or Notepad, whatever you're using. I recommend dragging the window over to half your screen or to another monitor, whatever you have. And then you're going to go to this page. Now this page will be linked in the description of the video. And this page is just going to have all of the settings that we change. So we're going to start with this first paragraph right here. Now these settings, as you can say, or not say, as you can see, say do not copy and paste. That's because these files, or not files, these settings are already added into the game folder. So all we're going to do is copy this, Control C, and then come over to this other, into your Notepad. You'll hit Control F, and again, this will work in just regular Notepad. And you are going to just paste it in the search bar and hit Find Next. That's going to take you straight to the option, and then you're going to change it from its default value, which is right here, it's not bold, to the bold value. So we are going to change this from false to true. And we are going to continue to do this for this little paragraph settings. We're going to stop right here once we do allow flyer carry PvE. I'm still going to do this on video, so you guys can follow along if you want to, but I'm going to speed it up a little bit so this video isn't super long. So I'll see you guys in just a sec. Alright, so we changed all the values from this little first paragraph right here. Alright, I'm going to try my best to make this not confusing, but just hear me out. So, I'm currently editing the video you're watching. You can see it's the same day as I'm editing the video, if you go back 2 seconds. And I just caught a mistake. So right here is the video you're watching. This is like the exact same spot that you just left off at. If I full screen this for you guys, you can see these are the settings that you just changed, except for you guys actually have an extra setting right here that isn't here in my version of the video, because this is where I caught the mistake. So if you look on the right here where my cursor is, difficulty offset is already here. But on mine, before I don't know how to explain this. Before I made this video, when I was recording it, I had it over here in something that we were going to add later. So in my version of the game, I have 2 difficulty offsets. Now, you guys won't even have to worry about this because I fixed it. So if I unfull screen it, I come to the page right here, this is what you guys saw. Like you can see, I just edited this 4 minutes ago, and you can see I added it right here. So you guys, and then, well, actually, I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to delete it from right here. So you guys will never have even seen that mistake. But I know that there may be some observant people out there, and if you're really watching and paying close attention, you'll see in the video that right here, you're missing an option compared to... But no, you guys are missing an option. The video's missing the option, but you guys won't be, because as you can see, I have it added right here. So I just wanted to explain that. Don't worry, you guys are doing everything fine as long as you followed the video. I'm not confusing you guys, but you guys will be all set, I promise. I fixed the document, so by the time you guys actually get to this point in the video, this mistake was fixed long time ago. Alright, I'm going to get you guys back in the video. Now, you may have noticed all of the settings that we changed were under this heading right here, server settings. So, if you go back over to the Google Docs page, you can see right here, I put in parentheses, put all these at the bottom of the server settings heading, which I just showed you, and then these are fine to copy paste. So all we're going to do is we're going to start right here with the first one, and we're going to come all the way down to the end of false. Go ahead and copy that, and just like I said in parentheses, we're going to put it at the bottom of right here, the server settings heading. So we're going to come all the way down to the last line right here. We're going to hit enter once to create a new line, and we are just going to paste it. Boom. And that's going to add all of those settings. So that's all you have to do. We're going to keep scrolling down. And now we are going to do the structures plus config options. So if you guys didn't download structures plus from the mods section of the video earlier, then you don't need to do this. But if you did, then just keep following along with the video. So we're just going to copy and paste everything to the bottom of the GameUserSettings.ini, which is just in short for GameUserSettings.ini, which is what we're editing right now. So start with the header, because the header you do need to have. Come all the way down. There's a whole bunch of options. You can see some of them are blank, but this just makes it easy. Copy that. And then, just like I said up here, we're going to copy and paste below options at the bottom of this entire file. So we're going to come all the way down to the last file of right here. We're going to hit enter once, and then, oh, actually, we're going to hit enter twice. Give it a space in between each thing, and then just Control V, and that will paste the entire thing. I would recommend scrolling back up to the top of all these options and make sure that you have the structures plus header, because you do need that. Now that we've done that, we can keep moving on. So just scroll all the way down, and then we're going to do the exact same thing for another mod. So this is for the Dino Storage v2 mod. Again, if you didn't download it, you don't need to do this, but if you did, then just keep following along. So copy and paste the below options below the structures plus section. I don't know why I just didn't read that, but so we're going to do the same thing. Starting with the header, make sure to grab it. Come all the way down to the bottom right here. Copy it. Come all the way down to the bottom of the structures plus thing that we just pasted. Hit enter twice to create a space in between the last line of structures plus and where we're going to put the header. Just paste it. And again, scroll back up. Make sure you have the Dino Storage heading, because that is important. I just had a bug land on my face, so sorry if I just hit the mic. And all right, so boom, Dino Storage 2. Got all that set up, and you can go ahead and hit save. Now we're going to move to the Game.ini file. So we're going to open up File Explorer again. If you don't know how to get back here, just rewind the video a little bit and follow the same path. But this file is located right here, just right above it. So this is another thing that's nice about Notepad++. If you right click and hit edit with Notepad++, it's just going to open a new tab. So you have tabs in this program, which is super nice because you can just swap easily from each one. Now, Notepad, like normal, doesn't have that, but it's not a big deal. You can still edit this the same exact way. So it's going to be the same exact process that we just did. So right here, we have to first manually edit these settings, because these are already added in the Game.ini file. So, same exact process, just copy it, hit Control F in Notepad, and then paste the option that we're going to try and find, hit Find Next, and it's going to take you straight to that option. So we're going to change these again from the not bold text default option, which is true, and change it to the new option, which is going to be false. So go ahead and change that. And I'm going to continue to do this for all these settings, and I will pick back up when I've done that. Alright, so now that you've done that, before we go too much farther, I just want to real quick mention that if you were super observant and you saw this setting right here was changed to 0.000001, which is the default setting that Syntac well, it's not the default. It's the setting that Syntac has it on. But this is, if you heard me in the beginning of the video, this is actually the one setting that doesn't transfer from a server, which Syntac plays on, to a single player world. If you put this to 0.50, then 1, the single player won't save it, and it'll put this back to the default value of 1. And that'll make it so once your animals mate, they're on a cooldown of like 2 days, which is a super long time, especially in a single player world. So this is the one setting that we do have to change from Syntax, and this is, I've tested all the settings between this value right here and what Syntac has it, and this is the lowest that single player will allow us to go. So I edited this in while I was copying over the settings, so you guys won't actually ever see the setting that I did have this to, because this file I just saved and this is being made before the video is put up, so you guys won't ever have to do that. But I just wanted to mention that in case any of you really observant people saw me edit that in when it was sped up. Okay, but I just wanted to say that. Alright, so now we're going to keep moving on, and right here, put these at the bottom of the whatever this header is, which is right here, right at the top. We're going to put all these options at the bottom of this section. And then, like it says, these are fine to copy and paste. So, actually, this is it. Since there's so many added by default, there's not as many to change right here. Plus, this is just a smaller file in general. Alright, so we're just going to scroll on down to the bottom of all this. And we can just hit enter to go down below. And then, boom, paste it. Save it, and you're good. Again, you can make sure they're both saved, and then you are all set to exit out. Alright, so believe it or not, that is actually all the settings that we need to change. Our game should be exactly like Syntax. There is one thing that we need to do, and that we need to dino wipe all of the dinos that were originally created in the world, because we need them to spawn now as difficulty 6 dinos. So they should be multiples of 6, and that's just another way we can see and make sure that the settings are working. So we're just going to go back in here, load up the same exact world. We're not going to change anything because all of our settings should be correct, and I will see you guys once we're in game. Alright, so now we're back in game. I do want to mention again that when you load your game, it can take a little bit, so don't try and alt-tab, don't try and like click around on your keyboard. Just let the game do its thing. My game was at a black screen for about a minute, and then it finally loads in. But now that we're in game, we need to delete all these dinos that we see on the map, because these are all the default level dinos, and we don't want that, and we want difficulty 6 dinos. So you're going to come here into your console. If you don't know how to pull up your console, the default key is tab, but if you change it, it'll be right here, toggle console. So we're going to go ahead and open that up. We're going to type enable cheats. That way we can use cheats. In the description, I will have the command that you're going to paste, which is right here. Cheat destroy wild dinos. And then if you look at like the raptor right here on the left, these 2 raptors, as soon as we hit enter, boom, they're gone. So now all the wild dinos on the map were just like deleted, and now they are going to respawn with our new settings that we just changed. And another way you can see, a quick way you can see that the settings are working, is that you can see our hair has already grown a lot. And that's because another setting that we changed is hair growth speed, which is 300% or 300. So it grows really fast. So that's another way we can see that our settings are working. Now I'm going to go ahead and fly to go show you guys that the new dinos are going to be spawning at difficulty 6. And if this is where you are at in the video, in your world, and you want to play, then go ahead and start playing. The video's done, but I'm going to keep going around. I'm going to go find a wild dino to show you guys that these settings are, in fact, working. Alright, so here's the first dino I found. It's a Lystro, and if we look at him, we'll see he is a level 16. So, boom, 16. You multiply 6, 3 times? And that's 18. If we go him up to this Moss Chops, he is a level 24. It's another multiple of 6. So it would appear that all these settings are working. Let's find one more dino just to be super safe. We got a couple compies here. We got a 12 and an 84. Pretty sure an 84 is a multiple of 6. Don't bully me. I was never good at math. 84 divided by 6, 14. Boom. Yeah, so the settings are definitely working. Now, say you did this on a map that you didn't want to play on. Like, say you did this on the island just following my tutorial step by step, but you want to play on RAG. Then that is completely fine. You can exit out of here, go back to the main menu, click on RAG, delete the island save world, load up RAG, and all these settings will still transfer over. It'll be perfect, just the way you have it right here. But that is actually going to be it for this video. I hope you guys found this useful. I hope I made it easy for you. I know personally what it's like to try to find the right settings, and it just take hours and hours on end, and you just can't seem to get anything that you like. So hopefully I made it easier for you guys. And again, these are the exact same Syntac settings, or settings that Syntac is using in his second cluster series. So if you're trying to play along with that series, then this is the perfect way to do it. If you guys did like the video, please consider dropping a like. It really helps out the channel, especially being such a small channel. Subscribe if you want to see more content from me in the future. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.